Hello and welcome back to another AutoCAD beginners course tutorial. Today in our third series, we are going to cover the annotation tools inside of AutoCAD. We can find the annotation tools here in the ribbon, which consists of text, dimension, letter, table, and many more. Clicking on this arrow here gives us the option to modify text, dimension, letter, and table, decide their style and their appearance, and many more modifications. If you are interested in the Modify Tools and the Draw Tool panel, which I covered in Series 1 and 2 of the Beginner's course, I will drop a link in the description below. Without further ado, let's start with our first command of the Annotation Tools, which is Multiline Text. As the name suggests, it allows us to type multiline text. To activate that command, click on Text, find this arrow here, click on it, and find Multiline Text. We have also Single Line, and shortly, we will explain the difference between them. We will start with multiline, click on it, then click and drag your mouse to the right or to any other location. So let's type anything. AutoCAD Beginners Series 3. So as you see, there are three things which I'm not satisfied with. First of all, I want to have many more words in one row. Secondly, I don't like the font. Thirdly, I don't like the scale. So let's solve the first part by find this symbol here, click, hold, left click, and move to right side. Again, and as you see, we are becoming more words on the same row. To change the font, select your text, and here in style, we have many options to choose from. You can even add some of yours. I want to go with annotated. The third point is I want to scale, change the scale, and here we can change the scale. Type a smaller number like 0.5 or 0.18, hit enter, and as you see, we have made our text smaller. Let me drag this, click here, hit enter to create the second row. Now, I want to select your text. I want to align them centrally. Here, we can choose it in paragraph. We have many justifications. Center. I want also to change the color, make it bold, in case I want to have an underline, and many other options which I can to choose from to edit the appearance of the multiline text. Now, let's move to our next command, which is the single line text. Click on this arrow here, single line text, again, left click. Now, specify start point, click anywhere you want to have your text. Click, specify the height, type 1, or any number according to your scale, enter. Specify rotation angle, we will start with 0, enter. And let's type, for example, subscribe. Click somewhere empty, enter. So, this is for the text, single line text. The difference between the single line text and the multi-line text is, with multi-line text, we have many more options to modify or change the appearance of our scale. We could also go to the command line and type properties, enter, and then select our text, and then change, for example, color. We could change its layer, line type scale. We could change the line weight. We can change text height still. Let's make it smaller, 0.75, enter. And many more options which we can adjust according to our needs. Let's move on to our next very important part of the annotation tools, which is dimensions. So here we have many dimensions. While clicking on this arrow, we have many dimensions to choose from, like linear, aligned, angular, to know the angle, arc length, to know the length of an arc, radius, and diameter. These two, to be honest, throughout my career, I have never used them. So let's start with linear. We have here a straight line. After clicking on linear, choose the first point, the second point, and move your mouse 3 units. To activate the previous command, hit space on your keyboard. First point, second point, move your mouse 3 units, 4 units. Again, spacebar to activate the previous command, which is linear dimension, first point, second point. Now, we have here an arc, and I want to know the arc length and the arc radius. Click on this arrow, find arc length. Now, as you see, it tells us select arc or polyline arc segments. Click on the arc and move your cursor. The length of this arc is 1.42 something units. To know the radius, click on radius and click on the arc. It tells us that the radius of this arc is 0.7. Arc length has this symbol. Radius has always an R and then a number after it. So we can distinguish between the types of dimension. Radius, again, for the circle, the radius is 1. To make sure, let's take line, go from the center to the end of the circle, and as you see, we are correct. The radius is 1. Let's continue. Dim aligned. For this type of lines, if I take dim linear from this point to this point, it gives me a linear dimension from here till here. But no, I want to know the length of this line. For that purpose, allow me to delete this. We have to go to the dimensions, go to aligned, click from this point to this point, and now we know the dimension of this line. One more type of dimension which is also quite often used is angular. Click on it. We have here the first line, click the second line, and it tells us that this angle here is 90 degrees. We want to know the angle of this one as well. Angular from this line to this line, and as you see, it's 44 degrees, and so on. That was it for dimension. We covered the different type of dimensions. Let's move on to our next command, which is the ladder command. The ladder command, find it here in the annotation ladder, simply click on it, and then click and click and type, for example, frame. Enter, click somewhere empty. The ladder command, as you see, is aligned with an arrowhead and text. I have a full tutorial about it, which you can check it out. I will drop the link in the description below. In some cases, for example, when you are following the tutorial with me, your arrow and text might not be visible because you are drawing in a different scale. To solve that issue, go to Annotation, this tab here, click on it, go to the third one, which is multi-ladder style, click on it, then modify, and here we have 3 menus. Let's start with ladder format. In ladder format, the important thing you can change the color of your ladder. I want it to be red. Then the size, which I want to be 1, I want to make the arrowhead bigger. Then let's go to content and text color. I want it also to be red. Text height, I want it to be 0.6. Okay. And now see, set current, close. And as you see, our ladder, the arrowhead became bigger, the frame, the text became bigger, and we changed the color as well. Let's move on to our last command in the Annotation tab, which is Table. Click on it. This menu here pops up. The table allows us to create a table where we can type in dimensions, something like Microsoft Excel. Columns, I want it to be 3. Data rows, I want it to be 2. Column width, I want it to be 2. Row height 1 is fine. Then we have here title, header, data, different options to choose from. For now, I just want to hit OK and click. And as you see, we created a table with rows and columns where we can type, for example, materials, enter. Then here, double click and type, for example, wood. And here we can type, for example, marble. And here, let's type, double click, concrete. And then here we can type, for example, things like 20 meters square and so on to give. And here, for example, quantity, for example, 5, or color, let's say brown, and so on. Very useful for bill of quantity. And if you are not very familiar with Microsoft Excel, as engineers for bill of quantity and many other data throughout the project, in some stages we will need that. So we covered, let's go back to home. We covered text, dimension, letter, and table. And we also learned about this one here, multi-letter style, where we edited the style of our letter. We can also go for text style, dimension style, and table style. Experiment with them, and you will get to know them very easily how to modify. As we already modified our letter, I will also to modify my text. Very quickly, I will show you how to do so. Go to the Annotation tab and find this one, the second icon, Dimension Style. Click on it, go to Modify, and now let's start. I want my dimensions to be red. I want symbols and arrows. Instead of this arrow, I want to be architecture tick. Letter, also architecture tick. Arrow size, I want it to be a bit smaller. Text, I want to change the text color to cyan. Text height, it's fine. Primary units, very important, the precision. As you see, I have 1. After the dot, I have 1, 2, 3, 4. I want to round off my numbers to 2 units. Hit OK, set current, and close. And as you see, we also changed our dimension style, and so on. If you liked our today's tutorial, please consider to subscribe to our channel. Hit the notification button in order not to miss our upcoming beginners course tutorial series, where we are going to cover layers, block, properties, group, utilities, and so on in our upcoming tutorial individually in each series. If you have any questions, please let me know in the comment section. I am more than happy to answer them. Thank you for watching and see you in our upcoming tutorial. Goodbye.